There's a billion different ways to be killed in Overwatch, but what's the rarest? Other creators in different games have made videos talking about the rarest kill icons in their games, and considering nobody's done one for Overwatch, why not do one? There's gonna be 4 broad categories here: abilities and weapons, perks, event-exclusive icons, and miscellaneous, involving removed, glitched, or smaller kill feed icons. There'll be a lot of things that you probably know the kill icons for, but won't encounter too much in your games. Stuff like D.Va remeching and getting a kill, or Ana sleep dot damage getting a final blow, or even getting a headshot with Dragon Strike. Now, the D.Va one isn't that common, but it isn't rare either. It happens in every elo, and it's pretty comical when D.Va first got that buff in the first place. Sleep dot is definitely rare though. Again, it's something that most of you watching already know exists because sleep dot does do 5 damage, but it's not something that's gonna happen often. Speaking of doing 5 damage, getting a kill with Hog's Hook alone is pretty rare. Back in Overwatch 1 days though, Hog's Hook used to do 30 damage, so it was a bit more common to finish off low targets with that hook alone. Still though, because of how often you're throwing out your hook, I think it's definitely very rare, but not quite the rarest. Dragon Strike Headshot is also pretty rare too. It's already a terrible ultimate, and Hanzo is just a less common pick to DPS compared to his competition. So couple in getting a headshot with this thing up close, and it's something that I don't think I've seen since the Overwatch 1 days.
I would uninstall, bro!
Hanzo also has 2 more fairly rare kill icons. The first is the Scatter Arrow perk, which should be in the perk section, but to be honest, it's still fairly common either way. The second is getting a headshot Sonic Arrow kill, which should be rare. Sonic Arrow is a scouting tool. It's something you fire at doorways and walls, but unfortunately, most of the player base just treat it as another random arrow. If Sonic Arrow did no damage, I actually think it would encourage people to use the ability properly. Also, I want to chuck in Soldier's Visor here. Visor is already a terrible ultimate if you're not Boblo, but getting a headshot with it is fairly tough because players just let the aimbot do the work for them. You're only really getting headshot Visor kills by luck, or if you're using Visor in Grav, but please don't do that. Shout out to Junkrat's passive as well, which I low-key forgot existed. If Genji deflects it, he can also obtain that unique kill icon as well, but more on Genji and Echo Duplicate later. Sombra's hack also deserves to be in here too. Because hack disables mobility cooldowns, you can basically get an environmental kill by just hacking someone off the map. Surprisingly, the same kill icon is granted for EMP too. Sombra hack could be the rarest for a few reasons. Firstly, Sombra is banned on a fuck ton of maps, so you never see her anyways. But more importantly, there's only so many maps where you can get environmental kills, and hack only disables abilities for a second, so someone could make a recovery. Also, shout out to the virus headshot icon as well. That's also pretty rare, considering most people aim virus for the body, but it's not as rare as a hack kill I think. There is one more kill icon though in this section that might just take the cake, which is Kiriko's Suzu. In case you didn't know, Suzu's got a very tiny amount of knockback, and as one redditor posted, this can lead into an extremely rare but still possible kill icon. Hopefully it shouldn't need explaining as to why this is so rare. You never use Suzu for boop kills, it's on a long cooldown, and so much needs to go right for this to actually happen. I will say, in my own testing, I struggled getting this kill icon. As you can see, I still get a hit marker from Suzu, but I don't get that kill icon. Maybe it's removed, who knows, but if it is, that makes it all the more rare. As an honourable mention, Winston Jump Hack is going to be included because the lift off damage is only 1. However, the kill icon for Jump Hack is fairly common because it comes from the landing damage. I'm also going to chuck in Torb's Hammer. It's not actually that rare because of how much of a meme it is, but you're never realistically coming across this one unless you've got a troll on your team. There's also Zen Snap Kick, which does have a unique melee icon. Though I think if you tried, this icon is a bit easier to get compared to some of the others. Venture and Queen also have unique melee icons, but they're both not that rare since they're kinda built into the character's core gameplay loop. The second category, perks, is subject to change in the future because current perks can be removed, which makes them more rare, or new perks can be introduced, which obviously I can't cover. With that being said, there's some strong contenders here. It's likely that I used Life Weaver's Super Bloom in the thumbnail, mainly because it is very rare. Weaver's already a fairly uncommon hero, and you need to play him long enough in a game to get that major perk, and then you need to kill someone specifically with that extra 40 burst damage. You guys can tell me if you've seen it in your games personally, and who knows, maybe you have. Weaver did recently get a buff to this perk specifically, which might incentivize more people to use it and make it slightly more common. Next is Brig's Whipshot perk. For those who don't know, one of Brig's major perks is that if you hit someone into a wall, you deal an extra 50 damage. Now, the same reasoning I just gave Lifeweaver can apply to Brig, but I think the main motivation here is that generally, the pack perk is often better and more commonly chosen. The Whipshot perk is best when trying to throw off dive heroes like Tracer, where that extra 50 damage can make a big difference. But even against dive, giving more healing to a team on critical HP can also be that difference between life or death. Still, when I was making my number 1 venture video, I caught this kill icon and I screenshotted it, so unlike the Weaver one, I have actually seen this one before with my eyes. Not to mention, more players are picking up this perk now, so maybe it's less rare than you might think. Another contender has to be Reaper's Dire Triggers. It recently got buffed in order to feel less clunky, but I fear most people are just going to stick to the other major perk. With that being said, I don't think Dire Triggers is that rare, because even if you haven't encountered it, it's pretty easy to intentionally get this kill icon if you wanted to. The penultimate perk to mention has to be Ryan's Shield Bash. It's actually not that uncommon. If you've watched my LH Cloudy video, you'll see the bash is used as part of a combo, but still something worth mentioning. Lastly, we have to mention May's Cryo. Of course, this only comes up when you get the major perk for May that creates a small blizzard around you while an ice block, but again, I don't think this perk is as uncommon as some of the others. It's mainly for similar reasoning to Dire Triggers. For this perk section, I think the qualification for what perk is the rarest is how easy it is to get a kill icon for it. In that case, it's probably between Lifeweaver and Brig, but personally, I'd edge it out to Lifeweaver, especially considering how many more players are picking up the Whipshot perk. Now going into event exclusive kill icons, which I'm gonna be quick with. These would involve events like Wrath of the Bride during Halloween, and whether you count these is up to you. There's no actual unique kill icon, but the icons for the heroes are obviously different. Considering getting these kill icons isn't that hard while the event is active, I don't think these constitute for the rarest kill icons in the game anyways. Last but not least, going over the miscellaneous kill icons. I'm probably gonna miss a few here, but here's some that are definitely worth mentioning. The first has to be Lucio's Sound Barrier kill. As part of an experimental patch at the end of 2021, Lucio could be on top of people's heads and land kills. There isn't much footage of this, but it's definitely very rare. Mercy's old ultimate, which was a mass res, also had a unique icon. It's obviously not a kill, in fact it's quite the opposite, but again, something worth mentioning. In a similar vein, the same can be said about Aris's Supercharger, which was her old ultimate back in Overwatch 1 that gave a team a 50% damage boost if you had LOS to it. Ash's gun also had a new kill icon, but apparently this was just a bug in a patch, which was removed afterwards. Overwatch also had a falling off the map icon, which again for some reason was removed. I would guess it's down to visual clutter, but still, unfortunate that it's gone. Genji Deflect and Echo Duplicate could also be counted here too. I almost didn't count it because Deflect and Duplicate could apply to any kill icon in the game, and it's not uniquely theirs, but if I didn't mention it, somebody in the comments would. It's important to mention that you could duplicate Genji and then deflect, but the kill icon still goes to Echo anyways, so it's kinda meaningless. Lastly, there's also kill feed assists, where a smaller hero icon will be displayed next to the person who landed the final blow. This actually leads me onto the final potential rarest kill feed icon. Let's assume Suzu is the rarest kill icon in Overwatch. You can make it even rarer by duplicating Kiriko or deflecting the Suzu coupled with 4 other characters who assisted the kill in some kind of way. But if you want to keep things simple and just talk about what's in the game right now, I think it's between Ana's Sleep, Sombra's Hack, and Weaver's Super Bloom. Getting a kill with Sleep Dart is incredibly hard to do, and you also need to be in the right circumstances to get a hack kill. Super Bloom is a lot more recent because perks just came in 3 months ago, so it could just be recency bias. The jury's still out on whether Suzu is actually a removed icon, but if it's not, I think it has to go to Kiri. It has that balance of people not even knowing it's a kill feed icon, but also it's intentionally hard to get if you actively tried. Anyways, check out the video on screen if you enjoyed this one. Until next time.